So we're gonna start out with the worst to the best, in my opinion, or at least the least played to the one that's mostly played. Starting with the Blackguard. The Blackguard mostly focuses on a mechanic called hatred. So you generate hatred when you attack or are attacked. You can also give this to someone else so they can generate it for you with the ability Dark Protector, which is usually where you get most of your hatred from. I would say these guys specialize in being like royal bodyguards, which is lore wise the whole deal. Like the whole profession is to protect the king from getting killed by a sorcerer. Lore wise, that's the whole deal. That's the way the class plays. But we're gonna go into Path of Malice. Monster Sending, a sweeping strike that rakes across targets up to 25 feet in front of you for 281 damage. I don't have a lot of strength. Like, most of these abilities, you need a lot of strength for them to deal a decent amount of damage. They mostly do physical damage, to what I noticed. Like, most of this guy's abilities is purely physical. So you want to go into weapon skill so you can actually do damage to people because most of the time you're going to be fighting other tanks with heavy amounts of resistance and armor. So you want weapon skill, you want strength, and you want toughness. Not so much wounds. As I like, if you have a good healer, these guys can stay alive. Horrific wound. This is really good. And this is why these guys are good against tanks. Like, they get multiple abilities that can just decimate a tank's armor, which goes into the lore. The bodyguards. This is a bodyguard class. I don't consider this a tank class. It's like a bodyguard. He only has to protect one person. He's not protecting the group. This is good for armor penetration. It's okay. It's not. It takes a lot of action points, in my opinion, but it's definitely not bad. This is your bleed, and it's also your slow. 40%, like most classes do 30% slow speed. 40% is really good, especially if you have people who use, what is it? The flee ability. I think it's in. Oh, there it is. They still lose 10% in movement speed, which is insane. Because this pretty much nerfs the character, and this reduces toughness, so people who can block will be less likely to block. This works with other stuff. It's not as effective as I'd like it. I wish it did more in damage to toughness than 60, but I'm not fully leveled, so there's that. Monster Spending costs 10 less hate, which is, what is that? Really? You generate so much hatred that that's kind of not worth it. Enrage Beating, a flurry of blows that inflict 176 damage every half second for 3 seconds. So that would be 300 and some damage for 3 seconds. Well, every 1 second on the 3 seconds. So that's not too bad. And restores 10 hate. Not bad. Increases the chance to critically hit by 15% for 5 seconds whenever you expend hate to attack. Every time you attack with something that expends hate, so one of these abilities costs 20 hatred, costs 30 hatred, improves with hatred, that doesn't cost hatred, your chance to critically hit goes up by 15%. This is really good for two-handers. The reason I don't use this or go into this path is because I like my guy to be a little bit tough. An overwhelming attack that deals 296 damage and knocks down the victim for 3 seconds. This is good. It knocks down people, so it stops them from defending or attacking. It's really good on healers. The only problem I have with this is that if they had a movement reduction put on them, they're immune to knockdowns. And most of the time, during a fight, most people you encounter, especially on the front lines, already have a movement reduction on them. So that kind of makes this okay in certain situations, but really bad in other situations. In my opinion, someone might say no, someone might say that, you know, you can use it this way or this way, but most of the time, I use an ability like this, it has never popped off as much as I'd like it to. Hasten Doom, wherever you critically hit a target, the wounds are reduced by 60 for 10 seconds. That's insane. In addition, whenever you strike a target with Murderous Wrath or Pitiless Strike, your auto attack speed is increased by 50% for 10 seconds. So, this would go well with, where is it? This. Filled with Fury would go really well with that. And if you use that along with that, that would be a lot of damage really fast. Reducing wounds, I believe 60 is 600. So you'd reduce the health by like 600, which is pretty good. It might go more if you actually spec up into the tree. That's just the base. Crimson Death, deliver a devastating cleave, striking all enemies within 40 feet of you for 421 damage. The sheer ferocity of the blow leaves your foe exposed, increasing their chance to be critically hit by others by 10% for 10 seconds. I'll say this. Crimson Death, Hasten Doom, and Filled with Fury would all go well together. Like, this is a pretty solid tree. And then, of course, you get your morale. You spread a wave of malicious loathing towards all peons 40 feet in front of you, associating this hate that those in your path. Move 30% slower and suffer 996 damage over 10 seconds. Not bad. So that is the Path of Malice. We're going to go through each tank class and each path, but this is the Path of Malice. Next one will be the Path of Loathing.